What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and tonight we're going to be talking about the brand new rumors for Black Ops 6, some absolutely groundbreaking reports, plus even more. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, drop a like, and we're just about a day and a half away from the official Xbox Showcase event, and we also have the Black Ops 6 Direct right after that, so 2 events total. I'll be live streaming my full reaction to the entirety of Sunday. Hope to see you guys there in chat, and I'll of course have plenty of videos breaking everything down as time does go on. But we also got plenty of brand new article coverage going up on dkdynamite.com for those that want to stay up to date with all things Call of Duty. I have my team ready to go on standby, ready to break everything down for you guys in the form of tweets and articles for those that prefer to read instead of watch videos, but I got you guys covered with everything. Now, with that being said, the Call of Duty Twitter account did post this graphic earlier today, and it does depict all the rewards for the small Black Ops 6 reveal event within Warzone. It's not a reveal event like we've gotten in previous years for games like Cold War, Vanguard, MW3, but still a pretty cool tie-in event to the Truth Lies ARG and that viral marketing. I think it's been great. Obviously, we have 2 animated calling cards, the Sally blueprint for the 9mm pistol, as well as the You Can't Kill Me finishing move, which you get as like a mastery unlock for having unlocked the first 3 things. So I made a video going ahead and completing that event as of yesterday. You got to do a few of these challenges in Urzikstan and one of them over in Rebirth. My guide's going to be linked down below in this video's description, but it's still been a nice change of pace having more traditional marketing for Black Ops 6 as opposed to just waiting for the big reveal within Warzone. I think it's cool to switch it up every other year or something. But with that, earlier today, Variety did report that Insecure and the first Purge star, Wylan Noel, will be in Black Ops 6 and is featured in the game's key art. Now, as I've been talking about for the last few weeks since the key art got revealed, the character on the key art doesn't always have to be the main character. I mean, I think in most cases for Call of Duty, typically the main character isn't on the cover. I mean, it's happened before, sure, but sometimes for games like Black Ops, you don't really see the main character on the cover, but I'm sure this actor is probably playing some type of prominent character in the campaign, hence why he's on the key art. If I'm not mistaken, this could just be a theory, but the Black Ops Cold War key art does show Bell, and you get the split sides of the Soviet Union and the CIA, kind of depicting that, yeah, Bell was brainwashed throughout the campaign. It was actually pretty cool to see how they really just tell us a message with the key art alone. So yeah, maybe something similar is going on here with the Black Ops 6 key art, and this could be an important character that we'll have to learn more about at a later date. But congrats to Wylan Noel for landing this role, and I do apologize if I butchered his name. I'm not familiar with the movies he was in, but we also have this rumor that I wanted to go over from Crash over on Twitter, and this person has leaked quite a bit in the past for Call of Duty, and it's cool to just touch on some of these topics every now and again. He went ahead and tweeted, Nuketown standoff hijacked firing range. He then replied 3 versions and an extra versions of Nuketown. So it's kind of implied in some of the mentions here under the tweet that apparently these maps are going to come to Warzone Mobile. I can't confirm that. I'm just going ahead and recapping this for you guys out there. It does seem like he might have found references to these maps for Black Ops 6, but within Warzone Mobile. So we're not exactly sure what that means, but I kind of get the hint from some of the replies that he found this information from within Warzone Mobile. I don't think this means those maps are coming to Warzone Mobile, but if you guys remember, I think a good 2 years ago, it was quite some time ago, I want to say even during Vanguard cycle, or maybe a bit after that, information about Black Ops 6 was found within Warzone Mobile. So I think right when Warzone Mobile had its little limited regional release, some folks who had access to that version of the game went through it, and because Call of Duty's on a unified engine now, which includes Warzone Mobile, somehow people found information about COD 2024. So these maps could be dropping. I want to say it'll be interesting to see these maps at launch as opposed to waiting until later seasons to get them. You guys might disagree because obviously Modern Warfare 3 just came out with a ton of remastered maps day one, but I've had the pretty mixed opinion that when it comes to remastered maps, I'd rather get them out the way at launch like we did with Modern Warfare 3 instead of waiting multiple seasons for maps that you know are going to be added in anyway. I'd rather save the DLC season for original maps with the occasional remake or repurpose experience here and there, or just how Modern Warfare 3 did it. But I'm curious what'll end up happening with Black Ops 6, because if you guys remember with Cold War, Nuketown wasn't available at launch, but it was during the preseason window when that map was added in. So we don't have to necessarily wait for Season 1 to get something like Nuketown or, let's say, Firing Range. Maybe they'll add in a map or 2 during preseason, or maybe just randomly towards the end of the first season instead of having to wait multiple months to get maps that you know are going to be added in regardless. And I also want to remind you that in some previous Black Ops entries, we've also gotten those Back in Black type maps, which typically consist of, you know, your Nuketown, Firing Range, Slums, Summit, Jungle. We've gotten all of those maps that are fairly iconic, and obviously most of which are from Black Ops 1. We've gotten those maps in just about every game from Treyarch recently. I mean, nearly all of them were in BO2, 3, 4, even Cold War. Not every single one of them. For example, Summit and Firing Range didn't make it to Cold War, even though they were heavily rumored for quite some time. We ended up getting WMD and Jungle at least during during year 2, which was cool, but I wouldn't doubt that Black Ops 6 will end up adding in those iconic maps either during some of the earlier seasons. I doubt they would make us wait that long for them, but that's kind of a signature at this point from Treyarch. I do want to mention that there's a lot of maps from Black Ops 1 that still haven't been remade a single time yet. A couple got remade in Cold War, which I really appreciated because I guess the era fit perfectly, but there's definitely some maps from some previous Black Ops games, even BO4, that I think would fit very well for a game like Black Ops 6. But here's a big rumor that popped up earlier today from Bob Network UK. It's really unclear where this information is coming from, but I guess this guy has a scoop. Apparently, Classic Prestige is meant to return within Black Ops 6. I'm not kidding. So, according to the rumor, we're going to get the Classic Prestige system as we remember from older Call of Duty titles, I guess at launch in BO6. Now, it's unclear if we're going to see Classic Prestige day 1, where you have, a set amount they add in, and then maybe throughout the season, they'll just start adding more on top of that. That's kind of what I suggested a little while ago, actually, when we got Seasonal Prestige back in Modern Warfare 3. I'm like, I don't think people really have an issue with seeing 4 new Prestiges per season. I think it's 2 issues, actually. The game not launching with any, and then having a level cap each season as well, which, in my opinion, is pretty discouraging, considering that you have a lot of XP you're earning while you're doing challenges, completing events, unlocking camos, or just grinding normally, and that XP just goes nowhere if you already hit the level cap before, let's say, the Reloaded update. Because if you hit the level cap before Reloaded, and then the mid-season drops, you're like, okay, I'm going to jump into the new content for Reloaded and enjoy XYZ, but there's no XP being gained. It doesn't stockpile and, carry over to the next season, so it's just a bunch of wasted XP. At that point, might as well have either no level cap or some type of system where at least with the launch window, there's plenty of prestiges to burn through, and then if you want to add in 3, 4 more each season, people would be more inclined to go ahead and do that. I think it's great to keep your players engaged and say, hey, there's a new set of prestiges this season, new set of rewards you can get for hitting all of them. I think that's phenomenal, but I would love to see the return of the prestige shop that we had in Cold War. Again, more incentives for hitting a certain prestige, rewards you can go to unlock and, flex the people that are low rank, and obviously in a nice way, you know what I mean. But let me know in the comment section, what kind of prestige system would you want to see in Black Ops 6? Should it be more in line with what we had way back in the day, or should it be kind of a hybrid with what we saw in older Black Ops games mixed with the new seasonal structure that we've been getting with Modern Warfare 2 and even Modern Warfare 3? Now, I know this is getting a bit technical, but if Classic Prestige does return according to this rumor, I'm really curious data-wise what will end up happening, right? Will they have data that says that more people would prefer the seasonal structure that we've had for the last couple of years, or will you have some data behind the scenes that says, yeah, Classic Prestige actually works, people are more engaged with the game when they have a solid amount of prestiges day 1, maybe they're then more encouraged to come back every season and get more, as opposed to being stuck at level 55 during the preseason window. Really curious what that'll end up saying to the studios about how Prestige should work. Now, I will add in that Classic Prestige was cool and whatnot, but when it came to locking your content after hitting Prestige, when it came to having no other levels to really ever grind throughout the rest of the year if you hit that cap early on, I'm not really a fan of that. I understand the fundamentals of Classic Prestige, but they gotta have some incentives for hitting those higher prestiges, and I wanna say even more incentives for coming back each and every season really offered that replayability throughout Cold War's life cycle. Now, I also wanna bring up this really interesting graphic that was posted at the very end of May. It was posted by Woogie over on Twitter. Apparently, some of the Vault Edition weapons for Black Ops 6 got identified. So I think Bob Network UK also tweeted this. I'm seeing this late, but a bunch of folks on Reddit did pinpoint what some of these weapons could be. So it looks like that really cool Mastercraft towards the top left could be the Ratio P PGM Ultima Ratio. Only difference appears to be the barrel, scope, and the stock, most likely due to attachments on the blueprint. We have a scout knife, very obvious. The Cast-Off S. It looks like the Jippered PDW. Similar lower receiver, extended mag, almost guaranteed because the 3 other bullpup SMGs do not have the rear grip connect to the body on the back. We also have what appears to be the M500 or the Mossberg 500. Not much more proof that I can give out, but the scarily similar trigger guard, pump location, and general shape give it away. So yeah, that's what the person wrote there. And then moving on to the Krig C. Very similar looking weapon. These Mastercrafts look phenomenal, by the way. Some of the best looking blueprints that we've probably gotten in years. And this is, of course, on the Vault Edition of Black Ops 6. It says, at first, I almost wanted to bash my head into the wall trying to figure this out. From a first glance, it could be any of the 4 guns from the Liena and the Krig platforms, but then I noticed something else. The very noticeable Krig rear irons. The rest lines up, including the front irons and the trigger guard. So yeah, credit to the Fireboy over on Reddit for going ahead and putting all this together. This is phenomenal research. Again, I'm not a gun expert. Been playing Call of Duty for quite some time, but I don't own weapons in real life, nor have I done too much research on some of the weapons that I've used in Call of Duty, so it's cool to see some experts out there that go ahead and put the work working and provide us with some valuable info. Now, I also want to remind you of another rumor. I kind of just felt like recapping a bunch of interesting stuff tonight for those that were curious. Vondi is Pog over on Twitter did go ahead and claim not too long ago that apparently the Pick 10 system is going to be added into Black Ops 6. Now, I'm kind of doubtful on this, considering that that will be a massive and drastic change to the way that creator class currently works, and I'm skeptical about it because of the Warzone integration, right? That would fundamentally change how Warzone works. If you had Pick 10, would that also impact Modern Warfare weaponry, or do you go down the route that I suggested on the podcast not too long ago, which is to vault Modern Warfare content when Black Ops is integrated with Warzone at some point this fall? I'm really curious how they would do this, or maybe have a separate system where you have Pick 10 for Black Ops content in Warzone, and then you have traditional Gunsmith for MW2 and 3 weaponry. Maybe that gets too messy to the point where they're like, all right, let's just have it to where Pick 10's only in Black Ops 6 multiplayer, not Warzone. I mean, there's so many ways we can look at it, but I'm curious what you guys are feeling about this. Have you kind of warmed up to Gunsmith, or are you just wanting to go back to something a little more simple like we had in some older Black Ops games, even a game like Advanced Warfare? I don't know. I'm kind of looking for a hybrid of the two, so to speak. I think an issue as well is the UI with the current Gunsmith. There's far too many attachments, no ability to really search for any. I know you can filter them now, which is cool, but I'm just excited for a reset, man, with Black Ops 6. I'm just very, very doubtful that they'll carry forward anything but maybe celebrity operators from Modern Warfare into Black Ops 6. I'm just really curious to see what the Gunsmith ends up looking like, how different it is from prior Black Ops titles. Could it be more in line with what we got in Cold War or MW3, something in the middle? Really interested in how they really spice things up for this game this fall. But the last thing we'll end with is another report that's coming in from Bob Network UK. Keep in mind there are other rumors that popped up earlier today about zombies, about movement. We'll talk more about that at another time. I don't want to squeeze too much here into this video tonight, but I think when it comes to theater mode returning into Black Ops 6, this is something that I'm not really surprised about, considering there hasn't been a Black Ops game to date that didn't have theater mode. I do think BO2 had the definitive theater mode, allowing you to save films forever, whereas BO3 didn't let you save them, which is odd, and it didn't work all that great, but it was still functional. The Black Ops 4 theater was very buggy, at least in my opinion. I think that's probably because they had blackout to worry about, zombies, lots of bugs, especially in the launch window for that game. Theater was never all that polished, but it did work fairly good in Black Ops Cold War. Surprisingly, I think it worked out fine, but this will be the first theater mode, or allegedly, allegedly at least, on the new COD Unified engine. So I'm curious with Treyarch making theater mode again, that's if this rumor is true, will this also be something that, let's say, other studios like Sledgehammer and Infinity Ward, could they then adopt that feature easily into their games too? And then for the first time, or I guess MW3 2011 at theater mode, but you get the point. For the first time, you could see a modern day MW or Sledgehammer title have a theater mode, and it doesn't just have to be Treyarch games anymore that incorporate them. Maybe because of the unified engine, that technology could exist for everybody. I think theater mode is fantastic when it comes to content creators needing clean screenshots with no HUD. You know, they want to zoom out and, you know, explore the map a little bit, or they just want to investigate a weird death or even a cool kill that they got. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on the brand new rumors about classic Prestige and even the theater mode, as well as the other rumors in regards to the possible maps we'll see, Pick 10, plus everything else we discussed? Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.